on the increase profoundly. And I think that's partially because our brains and our endocrine system don't know how to be soothed in the same way that they have been in the past. We don't have the natural opportunities to develop those skills. Therefore, we are reliant upon things from the outside of us, creating kind of a sense of calm or creating a sense of alertness. So on college campuses in the West, you see the use of ADHD medications profoundly increased during finals week. They are easy to access and people feel actually at a disadvantage oftentimes if they don't use them as a help to their focusing. And we also see the use of things like marijuana and other prescription medications to bring the self down because again, we don't know how to soothe. So those are the profound physiological effects. We want to watch the way in which we model, both with body awareness and drug and alcohol use. I notice a lot of times parents will be very concerned about their children's use of drugs to soothe or comfort or stimulate them, but if you look at their own social profiles, all of their images are rife with themselves holding a wine glass or, and even those subtle messages are really important when we begin thinking about how to shape our children's experience. Okay, then we're going to move into now kind of how all of this technology is shaping our sense of self. This one is what I am most interested in and where there is the least amount of research to this point because it's a really hard thing to measure. But I would love if everyone who participates in this, listening to this or experiencing this talk today could begin to think about just how technology is shaping literally the way in which we interact with ourselves. We really are living in an increasing time where the self is seen as a commodity. So wherever we are, we're thinking about how do we brand ourselves? How do we promote ourselves? What do we have to give out into the world in these ways? We see this even in the artistic community as I travel. I see more and more museums putting up things like, no selfie sticks. Because selfies are just the name of the game now. We're always about promoting where we've been. And I think actually we are living in a time where self-promotion pretty much 100% of the time trumps self-love or self-awareness. And this is deeply, deeply important. If you look at the research across the globe, actually this is international research, there is just growing evidence that the more an individual clicks in Facebook, the more likely they are to experience low self-esteem, high levels of anxiety, high levels of depression. This is, being fed all the time by the development of more and more tools with which we can perfect ourselves. If you look at the apps being downloaded by adolescents right now and young adults, they are largely these self-improvement apps that you download them and then they apply themselves as filters to